Albanian asylum seekers who have been refused British citizenship are targeting single pregnant mothers in a gang-led TikTok scam to become legally registered as their newborn's dad. Their hope is that being a member of a British family will allow them to evade deportation. Joining me now is immigration lawyer Ivon Sampson. Always good to gauge your views on these things, Ivon. What the heck is going on here?
Well, the registration of parents at the moment for unmarried couples is decided either by the couple signing the registration document together simultaneously, or one of them signing the declaration, the other one taking the declaration later to get them signed. So there's no requirement to prove who is the biological father of a child. That could be looked at, but being on the birth certificate gives a migrant parental responsibility.
Yep.
And with that comes an advantage, immigration advantage, because they can then make applications on the basis of their relationship with a British child. So there's various applications they can make. One of them is what's called EX1 leave, on the grounds that the article of the family rights of a family looked at in total, including that rights of a child, and it would be disproportionate to separate a British child from a father.
I would imagine that it's almost a done deal once you're on that certificate, that it's unlikely you're going to get deported, right? Unless somebody can prove malfeasance in how you got there. But how does this come around? Because maybe I'm being naive here, but how do you find en masse a number of single, expectant or recently new mothers, as it were, recent young women who've become mothers? I mean, there's no specific database, is there? Or is that just a lot of searching through social media?
Yes, I think that's exactly what it is. And there will be desperate people are willing to pay great sums of money to remain here. But you say it's a done thing. It's not quite so simple. The Home Office can ask the father to provide DNA evidence where they suspect that the relationship is not genuine. Invariably, they're going to get interviewed for any application, more than likely. If somebody's an asylum seeker and all of a sudden, after their refusal, they say, well, I've got my partner, unmarried partner, expect to have a child, I think the Home Office will be entitled to have DNA evidence. The problem is it's voluntary. We could change that footing and make it compulsory. But at the moment, the Home Office guidance, which was published back in March 2020, it only asks for voluntary DNA testing for biological fathers, which is absurd, really. If someone claims to be the father of a child after having a refusal, then I think it should be mandatory.
Yeah, you'd have thought so. And Ivon, do we have any intel on how much money is exchanged here for this deal?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I do know one. When I was a young lawyer, somebody approached me and offered me sums of money, and I reported them. And I was looking for, I thought it was one of your undercover journalists, to be honest. But I was absolutely categorically refused it. But at that time, this is going back a couple of decades, Ian, I was offered £5,000. I did report it.
Wow.
So I mean, I don't know what the figure is, but it would be several £1,000s, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I would have thought so. You're still a young lawyer, by the way, Ivon. Let's just clear that up. Nothing wrong with stating the facts of the piece here. In terms of who's behind this, I mean, we hear about this being kind of organised crime, not just one or two people trying it on, but a cartel of chiefs who've got together to try and find a solution to their migration issues. But this is on a grand scale, we hear.
It could be. I don't know what the data is, but the worrying thing, Ian, is this. The government has policies to stop this happening. The government can enforce, voluntarily request DNA evidence. But if it's not forthcoming, you would then reject any EX1 application on the basis of credibility. But this is always a problem with the government. The law's there to catch these people. It's just not being enforced and utilised. So it's organisation, it's having sufficiently well-trained people robustly catching these people, and that's the problem. There's enough law out there that we always hear about. We need new laws. No, I don't think we do need new laws.
So it
The
exists.
law's sufficiently strong to catch these people and remove them.
Okay, it exists already. Just before you go, Ivan, a word, if you would, on those latest numbers of people crossing the channel. 5,400, that's a new record. 800 people this weekend. I mean, that's a huge amount of people. When you think of 800 people all coming in boats, that's a lot of people. It's a lot of boats. That Rwanda deterrent's going brilliantly, it seems. I mean, clearly there's a huge issue for Rishi Sunak here. What's your response to those latest numbers?
2 words, the policy it's unlawful. Everyone knows it. The government lawyers know it. All the human rights organizations know it. The House of Lords know it. The MPs know it's unlawful. And finally, the UN have said it's unlawful. It breaches our treaty obligation under the Refugee Convention, the principle of non-refoulement. It breaches obligations under the European Convention on Human Rights. It also breaches Article 8, having a fair hearing, because it limits the right to appeal, unless, of course, the minister can veto any right to interim challenge by way of an injunction stopping removal. So it clearly is unlawful. Everyone knows it. So the government should really look to strategies that are going to
whether you want to support it or not is irrelevant. The actual structure of how it's been created is not legally sound, is your point. And of course, what's also not legally sound, but it's not legally sound for 5,500 people to just jump on a boat, is it?
No. The point is, this is where you need to understand the Refugee Convention. You don't have to legally enter the UK to claim asylum. That's the law.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't like it, change the convention.
Change the convention. Listen, Ivan,
that you don't like.
I step in there for no other reason than time.
It's not illegal to come across the channel. That's the law.
That is the law, whether people like it or not.